Hello, this is Mike from Dimensional Walking, and today we're going to do a part three and we're going to call this one the Hidden Zones, mapping Iran's alleged underground alien installations. Okay, so for decades, there has been this kind of whisper around the intelligence circles as Iran being one of the most likely locations for underground non-human installations. Not because of politics, but because of geography, geology, and the pattern of high strangeness that refuses to fade. Part one that I did of this three-part series laid the foundation, the historic sightings, the military encounters, and the broad plausibility. Part two dives into the terrain itself, the land, the anomalies, the region's insiders point to what they say is if there's something under Iran, it's here. This is where the story becomes less about UFOs in the sky and more about what is beneath the ground. So I talked about this before. The Zagros mountains stretch nearly 900 miles across western Iran, forming one of the most rugged, inaccessible regions on Earth. They are not a place where tourists wander or where satellite imagery gives easy answers. The terrain is jagged, folded, riddled with deep limestone caves. Some mapped, most are not. Insiders refer this portion of this mountain range, as Black Zone. It's a term used for areas where satellite thermal readings show unexplained heat images. Caves extend miles underground. Military access is restricted. Locals report strange lights entering mountainsides. Some reports aren't new. Shepherds in the region have told stories for generations about stars that land, lights that disappear into the cliffs. In the 1990s, Russian geologists working with Iran supposedly detected magnetic anomalies in the Zagros that didn't match any known mineral deposit. The data was quietly shelved. Okay, so it was basically covered up. If non human groups wanted a subterranean base, the Zagros would be ideal. Remote, shielded, and naturally labyrinth. Okay, so then there's this other region I've talked about before, but I want to go again because I give you a little more detail here. It's called the Dasht-e okay? It's one of the hottest places on Earth. Satellite readings have recorded temperatures over 150 degrees on the surface. It's very vast, it's empty, and almost alien landscape on black volcanic rock, towering sand formations, and salt flats. Human presence is nearly zero. Okay, but satellite analysts have noted thermal anomalies uh, that kind of come and go, geometric shadows inconsistent with natural formations, sudden electromagnetic spikes detected by the passing satellites. In 2024 and 2025, multiple travelers crossing the fringes of the loop, as they call it, reported luminous spheres hovering silently above the desert floor. One described them as this kind of hot rock, marbles, okay, floating on the heat. Another claimed that the spheres shot straight down into the ground like it wasn't solid at all. If any region on Earth could hide entrances to the subterranean installation, it's the Loot, a place where nature itself discourages investigation. So then in the tri-border area of Iran, which would be like Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran, there's a place called Kulamalixia. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but that's the way I can pronounce it, I guess the best I can. It's a mountain region longly associated with kind of smuggling, military patrols, and silent sightings. During the U.S. presence in Afghanistan, American drone operators reported observing objects raising vertically from the mountains, heat signatures deep inside the rocks, and fast moving lights that outpace all the drones. None of this is ever officially acknowledged, but rumors persist. Local villagers have had their own stories. They're talking about metal birds without wings, silent lanterns, and the watchers of the mountains. These accounts go way back, and that was well before drones even existed. If a non-human presence wanted to monitor human conflict zones, this border area is volatile, it's remote, strategically uh, positions, which would be a logical choice. So east of the Zagros lies a less known region insiders call the Silent Crescent, a curved band of mountains and a desert near the city of Kerman. This area has been there has been sightings such as unexplained low frequency hums heard by the villagers, sudden power outages, reports of triangular low flying craft flying silently, uh, ground tremors with no seismic source. In 2021, triangular craft was filmed near Esfahan, not far from this region, hovering silently before accelerating straight up. The video circulated briefly and was scrubbed by the Iranian social media. The Silent Crescent is also home to abandoned mines, deep shaft, old military tunnels, perfect to camouflage for something even deeper. So researchers have who study the underground base lore often look for three things. Okay, these are three things that all over the world they look for. Okay, I've heard this before myself. Thermal distortions, magnetic irregularities, and low frequency vibrations. Iran has all three of these. Thermal anomalies in the Lut, magnetic anomalies in the Zagros, and low frequency hums in the Silent Crescent. These are the same signatures reported near alleged underground sites in areas we all know, or most of us would know, is the uh, Pine Gap, Dulce, New Mexico, the Andes, and parts of Siberia. Patterns matter, and Iran's pattern matches the global template almost too well. So, the Iranian skies have been active for the last 5 years. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of the sighting things. So in 2021, Isfahan um, Triangle, there was a silent black triangular craft hovered for at least a minute before shooting straight up. And there was a whole bunch of witnesses to that, by the way. In 2022, on the Afghan border, there was these spheres, the multiple luminous spheres seen drifting over the mountains and then vanished. And again, all of these I'm telling you all had multiple witness sightings. In 2023, the Iran fast mover, they call it, excuse me, a metallic object crossed the city in seconds, captured on multiple phones. In 2024, 2025, the Lut Desert Lights, white hot spheres descending into the desert floor. These sightings cluster around the same regions rumored to host the underground structures. Is this a coincidence? Is this a pattern? Or is it just a visible tip of something subterranean? Okay. So this is where the stir them up type things. I mean, I always talk about this stir stir up the bees. Okay, because a lot of alien groups seem to have kind of a hive mentality to them. Okay, so I always talk about stir them up. Um, so if the deep penetration bomb, if deep penetration bombs, buster bunkers, buster busters, I guess they're called, or seismic weapons strike, areas where non-human installations exist, the consequences could be objects fleeing the ground, defensive aerial activity, electromagnetic interference, and mass sightings. Okay, that's what you would expect if they are disturbed. Okay, and I don't think they're going to be overly happy. Okay, because one of the other things that may happen, their entrances may be exposed if there is bombings, etc. So the war always has been a catalyst for UFO activity. Anytime you have a war, a large war somewhere, you're going to get more UFO activity. It happened in Vietnam. It's happened during the big wars. It's happening in Ukraine. It's happened quite a few places, and I could do a whole video or several videos on that, and maybe someday I will. So Iran would be no exception. Okay, we're in a war right now, no exception at all. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of reports coming out of the Middle East on increased UFO sighting activity. So, especially if something beneath the surface is watching. Um, and that's the thing I'm going to kind of leave it at right here. So, anyways, it's something to think about, and maybe I'll do some other related videos, uh, kind of talking about this thing in other parts of the world during other wars. So I hope you enjoyed my three-part series, and we'll see you in the future. Bye bye.